still remembering his legacy. New tonight on Our News, live at 7. As a by-election looms for his seat in Parliament, MPs honor the enduring legacy of the late Obie Wilchcombe. And we are following new developments in the PLP's candidacy race for the fallen MP's seat in Grand Bahama. But first, preparing to head to the polls. Voter registration ramps up as West GB and Bimini constituents get ready to elect their new representative. Then in Our News at 7:30, a second attempt. Meet the next independent candidate hoping to secure the seat. Our News live at 7 starts right now. Welcome to Our News live at 7. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Kindino Knowles. Still no word on the date for the upcoming by-election, but the Parliamentary Registration Department says they're prepared for whenever that date is officially announced. Jamila Mizik gets us started tonight. She tells us non-registered voters looking to participate are being urged to register right now.
Over the last few weeks, there have been more than 150 new registrations and over 50 transfers in the West Grand Bahama and Bimini constituency as residents gear up to select their new Member of Parliament. Acting Parliamentary Commissioner Arthur Taylor.
We foresee when people announce the nominations, who are going to be nominating or who they are proposing to put up for nomination, and when the parties get on the ground and start campaigning. Then we expect to see everything amp up a bit. It has started already, I think, over the past 2 days. Both Grand Bahama and Bimini have been telling me that they've seen more persons come here.
A by-election must now take place following the death of former West Grand Bahama and Bimini MP Obie Wilchcombe. But how soon can we see the by-election?
From the date of the death of in this case the death, it's 60 days. So the 25th of September, I think, roughly is the date. And that would give us averaging about 25th of November. By then, we're looking at it done. And when the writ is read, we have anywhere from 21 to 30 days to have the election.
Now, there were 5,682 voters registered in the West Grand Bahama and Bimini constituency in the 2021 general election. Today, he says the department will undergo a scrutiny process to find those registered voters.
Once we have the register, a list of them, we go and find all of them.
While the day of the by-election is still a mystery, voters are encouraged to register now. If you live in that constituency, are registered to vote, and are in possession of your purple voter's card, he says you do not have to register again.
If you are a registered voter and have moved into the West Grand Bahama and Bimini constituency and have resided there for more than 3 months, you are eligible to transfer to vote in that constituency. And that, particularly in Bimini, relates to those persons who would have gone down to work at the various resorts on the island.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Jamila Mizik.
All right, thanks a lot for that, Jamila. And as voters rush to the registry, on the other side of this upcoming by-election is the campaigning, which is heating up. This as aspiring candidates trying to get their hat in the race for the West Grand Bahama and Bimini constituency. Independent candidate Daquan Swain is one of them. He ran in the 2021 general elections, receiving some 73 votes. Although he lost the seat, he says the work continues.
We work continuously behind the scenes to make it happen for them. And that's beside all of the public fights. People in Grand Bahama know Daquan Swain, and they know that I am literally the support system for every bleed that Grand Bahamians face on a daily basis. No matter the issue, Daquan Swain is there. When we had the issue of the power company, Daquan was there. The issue of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, Daquan was there.
Swain says he's disappointed to see some aspiring candidates campaigning when they've been absent in the community.
Anybody who haven't been fighting for years for Grand Bahama, if they just showed up 2 weeks ago, that's not a person who truly cares, that's an opportunist. They want the opportunity because it's for self-gain. It isn't about West Grand Bahama and Bimini. They see a personal opportunity for self-advancement and they want to take that. So they want to use West End and Bimini in order to get where they want to get. And then after that, they're going to disappear.
All right, we've got the full story on Swain coming up in just a bit, but we're also following new developments in the PLP's candidacy race for the seat in Grand Bahama. Our News understands 10 PLP members are vying for the seat. To find out who, be sure and stay tuned to Our News at 7:30 for the full story. It's coming up in about 20 minutes. Meanwhile, parliamentarians dedicating the first sitting of this parliamentary session to their fallen colleague, Obi Wilchcombe, the seat he once filled, now draped with a black robe. His picture now sits on the desk directly behind the sign for his beloved West Grand Bahama and Bimini. Longtime friend Glenys Hannah Martin and State Minister Lisa Ramming were among MPs on the governing side to pay tribute.
Our debates under his leadership have been organized, orderly, substantive, and qualitative. He insisted on decorum and treated all members on both sides of this House with respect and good humor.
But he still did his best. And I am asking the people of the Bahamas to let's not criticize the management of all these resources, but seek on how you can lend a helping hand where you can.
An emotional moment there, but the resolution debated today in Wilchcombe's honor will be given to his family and stored in the parliamentary archive. News of Wilchcombe's sudden passing made headlines on September 25th. The official opposition also paying their respects to Wilchcombe. Free National Movement leader Michael Pintard reflecting on lessons he left behind.
He had the ability to move through the airport and people gravitated towards him. They felt comfortable it was Obi. Not the temporary title of minister, which sometimes in politics people don't recognize how transient these titles are. He managed to wear it well. So he wouldn't have missed a CM plate passing him when he was in opposition or the police escort that was no longer there, because quite frankly, he wasn't attached to it. A good lesson he left all of us.
All right, now to news from the court. As prosecutors have withdrawn charges against a man accused of shooting another man during an attempted armed robbery. Prosecutors allege Leonardo Wright shot Alexander Dean during an attempted holdup at Dean's Building Supply on Parkgate Road back on September 5th, 2009. The incident leaving him paralyzed. The charges were withdrawn as prosecutors offered no further evidence. And 2 female corrections officers have been arrested on drug charges. It all went down around 10 o'clock last night after police received intelligence that led them to the drugs. We'll tell you more about their arrest in just a moment, but first, we'll check in now with meteorologist Greg Thompson, who is standing by in the Weather Center for your first look at temperatures. Greg?
Yeah, thanks, Canino, and happy Wednesday evening, everybody. We still have some clouds outside. Temperatures are still in the comfortable range, but they are a little warmer this evening. 78 degrees outside right now. The winds out of the east-northeast. Those winds have picked up. Now it's 16 miles per hour. Your feel-strike temperature, very comfortable, 77. Right now, it's 76 in Freeport, 79 in Marsh Harbor, Abaco, Great Harbor Key, and in Alistown, Bimini. Nichols, San Andres, you guys are 78. Over in Governor's Harbor, 80 degrees. Into the Central Bahamas, 81 in Kemps Bay, 80s. Arthurstown, Cat Island, Georgetown, 82 in Deadman's Key. Coburn Town, San Salvador, you guys are 75, rain cool. You have some showers nearby. And into the Southeast Bahamas, Duncan Town, Ragged Island, you have some showers nearby as well. 83 degrees there, as well as in Colonel Hill, Cricket Island, Delectable Bay, and Abrams Bay. Matthew Town, Inago, 84, and our neighbors to the southeast, Turks and Caicos Islands, you round out our temperature profile at a very warm 86. Satellite and radar composites showing cloudiness is still associated with that frontal boundary. The frontal boundary sagged into the southeast Bahamas. Most of the activity down that way. We still have some low-level clouds hanging out across the central Bahamas, courtesy of that cold air mass interacting with the warm surface temperature. This frontal boundary will continue to wash out throughout tonight and into tomorrow, but we expect there's some moisture with this frontal boundary to back up towards the north. So we could see some showers across the northwest and central Bahamas by Thursday and into Friday. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us to look at your extended forecast is still to come.
On the other side of the law, still to come on Our News, we'll tell you what led to the arrest of 2 corrections officers and the opposition criticizing government efforts for getting off a EU blacklist. The Ministry of Finance on the defense, though, explaining why. And Work in Progress is back tonight as the straw market about to expand into the Family Islands when Our News returns.
We're going where Columbus first landed, where snorkeling, diving, and fishing abound. to sparkling inland lakes and historical monuments bordered by miles of crystal clear water sandy beaches. Join me as we gallivant across native Guanahani. Starting October 23rd, the Our News team is reporting nightly at 7 and 7:30, bringing you the best in St. Salvadorian life. And be sure to follow our social media pages. You all ain't coming?
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
We're going where Columbus first landed.
2 female corrections officers have been arrested on drug charges. The arrest happening around 10 o'clock last night after officers from the Drug Enforcement Unit and the Department of Corrections seized $700 worth of marijuana. And here's how the drugs were found. Police say they were tipped off and searched a black Honda Civic that was parked on B-Doc's compound, ultimately leading to the arrest. Well, the Free National Movement blaming the Davis administration for the Bahamas' failure to get off the European Union's recently updated list of non-cooperative jurisdictions for tax purposes. In a statement last evening, the Ministry of Finance said consideration for that list was made in April before the country completed its economic substance reform. The explanation not sitting well, though, with opposition leader Michael Pintard.
The government was adamant that it understood what the challenges were and that they were going to act on each of the outstanding requirements in order to address this issue. So they gave the impression that this was pretty much a done deal. And we acknowledge in the statement that we are playing on an unlevel international playing field. The Europeans hold us to a standard that they do not hold themselves. But that does not absolve the government of acting judiciously, expediently, to make sure that they address these issues that can affect the reputation of the country.
Government said in its statement that the EU's determination was based on the recommendation of the OECD's Forum on Harmful Tax Practices meeting held in April 2023. The next meeting is expected to happen at the end of the month. Government, however, says it is cautiously optimistic about a favorable review.
It is our hope that ahead of February that the government addresses all of the concern, that it dispatches a high-level team that will engage the European and also others who are facing this blacklisting in order to address the issue.
All right, now to tonight's Work in Progress segment. As we hear from Berthany McDermott, the Straw Market Authority set to expand its reach to the Family Islands.
The historic straw market in the heart of downtown remains a staple in the downtown experience, and according to Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Works Bacchus Roll, plans are underway to branch out to the Family Islands.
This week, they are expected to travel into Andros and meet with some of the vendors there to share ideas, to purchase straw, from the islands, to enhance the product here in Nassau, and of course to help them enhance their product in the Family Islands.
He revealed other islands on the horizon for the authority as well.
I know that there's a trip planned for Exuma and other islands where they have smaller markets, Harbor Island. Again, the Straw Market Authority is not just New Providence. We're now trying to branch out.
Rule, who is also the Member of Parliament for South Beach, has oversight for the straw market. He says they've been doing well since reopening 7 days a week, despite pushback to the idea. Since the opening of the Nassau Cruise Port, downtown businesses and straw market vendors expressed concern that the new facility would take tourists away from exploring downtown and other businesses. Now, Roll says the cruise port has agreed to assist the straw market with marketing.
We're pleased to announce that it has been fabulous. Our vendors are seeing record numbers of visitors, and of course, with the inclusion of the port, where we have seen the harmonious relationship.
Reporting for Work in Progress for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as the United States backs Israel's account of that hospital explosion in Gaza. Plus, a top FTX witness says he confronted Sam Bankman-Fried on missing funds. More bombshell revelations from this week's trial straight ahead. And from the region, Caribbean islands now monitoring a weather disturbance out in the central Atlantic. We've got the National Hurricane Center alert coming up when Our News returns.
We're going where Columbus first landed, where snorkeling, diving, and fishing abound, to sparkling inland lakes and historical monuments bordered by miles of crystal clear water sandy beaches. Join me as we gallivant across native Guanahani. Starting October 23rd, the Our News team is reporting nightly at 7 and 7:30, bringing you the best in St. Salvadorian life. And be sure to follow our social media pages. You all ain't coming?
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
We're going where Columbus first landed.
This is Our News. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. U.S. President Joe Biden has said a deadly blast at a Gaza hospital appears to have been caused by Palestinian militants, backing Israel's account of the incident as he visits the country. Biden, who landed in Tel Aviv on Wednesday, said he was deeply saddened and outraged by the explosion. Israel's military said it was caused by a failed Palestinian rocket launch, but Palestinian officials said an Israeli airstrike hit the hospital. Health officials in Gaza have said almost 500 people were killed in the explosion, but no death toll has been confirmed.
I was deeply saddened and outraged by the explosion at the hospital in Gaza yesterday. And based on what I've seen, it appears as though it was done by the other team, not you. I want to say to the people of Israel, their courage, their commitment, their bravery is stunning. It's really stunning. I'm proud to be here.
I want to thank you for coming here today and for the unequivocal support you have given Israel during these trying times, a support that reflects the overwhelming will of the American people.
Sam Bankman-Fried directed that money from his Alameda Research hedge fund be used to make political donations after he learned the fund owed $13 billion to customers of his FTX cryptocurrency exchange. A former executive testified as much on Monday. Ryan Chang reports.
Sam Bankman-Fried knew about a $13 billion hole in customer funds before his crypto exchange FTX collapsed, but he continued to spend money on political donations, celebrities, and pet causes. That's according to a top witness at Bankman-Fried's criminal fraud trial on Monday. Nishad Singh is the former head of engineering at FTX. The jury heard Singh describe a conversation with Bankman-Fried in September last year on the balcony of a Bahamas penthouse they shared. Singh confronted the founder about the shortfall. Bankman-Fried assured him he would raise more funds and cut costs. But in the meantime, Singh said he kept receiving transfers from Bankman-Fried's Alameda Research hedge fund, money that FTX associates would use for endorsements to boost Bankman-Fried's image. Those included some high-profile deals, naming rights to the Miami Heat's basketball arena, as well as arrangements with NFL quarterback Tom Brady, Brady's then-wife, the model Gisele Bündchen, and basketball star Steph Curry, among others. Singh said these reeked of excess and flashiness, and that he urged Bankman-Fried to cancel them once he learned about the shortfall and customer funds. Bankman-Fried refused. FTX declared bankruptcy 2 months later after a wave of customer withdrawals. Singh also admitted in court to being a straw donor for campaign donations to the U.S. Democratic Party. He described how members of FTX's inner circle would often direct a donation be made in his name. Bankman-Fried's trial has heard testimonies from other members of that inner circle since it began earlier this month. Former technology chief Gary Wang and Alameda's one-time CEO Caroline Ellison, who was also Bankman-Fried's ex-girlfriend, have both testified. Bankman-Fried's lawyers are expected to cross-examine Singh on Tuesday.
And now to the region, as Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, says the Caribbean is not immune to the implications of the current Israeli-Hamas conflict. During a recent televised broadcast, Gonsalves said a wider spread of this conflict could be worse than Ukraine. The Prime Minister reasoning that the immediate impact for the region includes the question of rising oil prices and other larger geopolitical questions at stake. And finally, a weather disturbance is being monitored in the region. Those with interests in the Lesser Antilles have been advised to monitor the progress of the system now in the central tropical Atlantic. The U.S. National Hurricane Center says satellite images indicate a broad area of low pressure located about 1,100 miles east of the Windward Islands has become better defined since this morning. It says associated showers and thunderstorms are also showing signs of organization. Environmental conditions are expected to remain conducive for gradual development, and a tropical depression will likely form during the next day or two while the system moves west. Still to come in our news, today in history, find out interesting facts about the day that was October 18th. Then in our news at 7:30, modernizing the vote. The acting parliamentary commissioner previews a new voter's card. Plus, the Free National Movement leader says his party will take the West Grand Bahama and Bimini seat. The reason behind his confidence when our news returns.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
We're going where Columbus first landed, where snorkeling, diving, and fishing abound, to sparkling inland lakes and historical monuments bordered by miles of crystal clear water sandy beaches. Join me as we gallivant across native Guanahani. Starting October 23rd, the Our News team is reporting nightly at 7 and 7:30, bringing you the best in San Salvadorian life. And be sure to follow our social media pages. You all ain't coming?
Welcome back to Our News. It's time now to turn our spotlight on events that shaped the day that was October 18th. Take a look.
On this day in Bahamian history in 1934, Bert Cooper, better known by his film name Calvin Lockhart, was born in Nassau. Lockhart was a stage, television, and film actor whose career spanned from the 1960s to the late 2000s. He is best known for his roles in the blaxploitation films Let's Do It Again and Uptown Saturday Night, which he starred in with fellow Bahamian actor, the late Sir Sidney Poitier. His last acting role was in the film Rain by Bahamian director Maria Govan. Lockhart died on March 29, 2007. He was 72. In 1943, the trial of Alfred D. Morigny began in Nassau. Morigny was put on trial for the murder of American-born businessman and investor Harry Oakes. Oakes was murdered at his home on the night of July 7th. 2 days later, Morigny, who was also Oakes' son-in-law, was arrested and charged with his murder. Morigny's trial lasted for 22 days before he was acquitted. Then in 1952, Jewett Halson Moultrie was born in Matthewtown, Inagua. Moultrie is a meteorologist, attorney, and politician. He served as F&M MP for Nassau Village and Speaker of the House of Assembly from May 24, 2017 until September 16, 2021. Then in 1972, then Prime Minister Lyndon Pindling presented the white paper for the nation's independence in the House of Assembly. It indicated what would stay the same after independence, what would change, and the vision for the future. A year later, and just 3 months after independence in 1973, the first edition of the Abaco Independent Movement AIM newsletter, the Abaco Independent, was released. AIM sought independence from the United Kingdom as their own nation, separate from the rest of the Bahamas.
All right, that historical recap is available for you to see again right at ournews.bs. Well, the Bahamas is hoping to reel in big business from the recently held 32nd edition of the Monaco Yacht Show. The exclusive event is the largest gathering of super yachts in the world and featured over 500 exhibits and over 130 super yachts. Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, John Pinder II, says being part of the event was all about marketing the Bahamas as a leader in the yachting industry.
We're here expanding our presence and our partnerships with those the likes of superyachts.com, Fraser, and many more. It's very important for the Bahamas to be here to showcase what we have to offer. That escape from the European winters. This is where we show how to get there, what to do, and what experiences you could have in the Bahamas. So very pleased to be here. We have a strong presence here, great partners, and we're working towards bringing some of our European friends across the pond over to the Bahamas.
All right, to see that story again and for all of today's top stories, you can visit ournews.bs. It's going to do it for us in News at 7. Joining us now is our Italia Hall with the latest headlines. Italia, there's nothing like Grand Bahamas, but definitely could take a trip to Monaco.
Yeah,
but
that view.
But I did have a question.
What's
Big
that?
Yacht, small yacht?
Big yacht, Ken. Everything big.
Why?
Big yacht for me. I need my space. Friends and family, we're gonna have fun, but at the end of the night,
onion, everybody's much closer, and you can.
Big yacht. That's the answer. All right, thanks so much, Ken. Well, the acting parliamentary commissioner talks modernizing the vote, and another independent candidate announces for the upcoming by-election. Here are your latest headlines. Heating up, new tonight on Our News Live at 7:30. The campaign season is now in full effect. This as more than 10 aspirant candidates have submitted their names, all hoping to become the next member of parliament of the West Grand Bahama and Bimini constituency. This as the leader of the Free National Movement says they are confident that they will be victorious in the upcoming by-election. Also hear why a prospective independent candidate is saying he has the support of the people in West Grand Bahama and Bimini. And later, with a by-election on the way, there may be some changes to the voters card. Our Jamila Mizik has an update from the acting parliamentary commissioner coming up when Our News Live at 7:30 returns.
We're going where Columbus first landed, where snorkeling, diving, and fishing abound, to sparkling inland lakes and historical monuments bordered by miles of crystal clear water sandy beaches. Join me as we gallivant across native Guanahani. Starting October 23rd, the Our News team is reporting nightly at 7 and 7:30, bringing you the best in St. Salvadorian life. And be sure to follow our social media pages. You all ain't coming?
Favorite Bahamian artist of all time? I'll give you some time to think about it.
The greatest Bahamian song was recorded by the beginning of the end, Funky Nassau.
We're in a day and age where things can be different and still be authentically Bahamian because it's the Bahamian people bringing it to you.
Junkin was like the heart and soul of the Bahamian culture.
Doctors Hospital is reimagined primary care. We have invested to improve our health system, ensuring that accessible, affordable, world-class clinical care is closer to you. Your relationship with a primary care provider shapes the foundation of your overall health. Our new, modern primary care facilities are where critical diagnosis and true personalized treatment begin. With locations across New Providence, Grand Bahama, and Exuma, we invite you to experience the Doctors Hospital difference. Book your next appointment at Clinic.
Welcome to Our News and thank you for joining us. I'm Natalia Hall. Our News understands that 10 people met the midnight deadline and applied to carry the banner for the Progressive Liberal Party in the upcoming by-election. The seat became vacant after the late Member of Parliament Obi Wilchcombe died last month. The 10 hopefuls include Shane Gibson, Samuel Brown, and Edmund Munro, Kingsley Smith, Robert Grant, Park O'Deal, Keith Russell, Caleb Ouden, Kyla Rita Walker Saunders, and Lyndon Maycock. Our News understands the party will make a formal announcement on their selection by the end of the week. The PLP began accepting applications on Sunday from possible nominees to contest the seat. Applications had to come in writing along with a resume and a Bahamian passport. Potential candidates also have to be a member of the Progressive Liberal Party and in good standing. Well, Free National Movement leader Michael Pintard says the party is looking to name the candidate for the upcoming by-election this week, adding that they're confident the FNM will snag the vacant seat. The vacancy came following the sudden passing of former PLP cabinet minister Obi Wilchcombe.
We are confident. We understand that traditionally it's been a Progressive Liberal Party seat, but we intend tooth and nail to challenge this government on its performance nationally and its performance in Grand Bahama. And so no surrender, no retreat.
Our News understands Bishop Ricardo Grant will be named as the FNM's candidate. Images have been swirling on social media of Grant and other party supporters dressed in party gear, going from door to door. Meanwhile, Pintard believes the constituency and Grand Bahama as a whole face economic challenges.
The issues that face any political organization or candidate is what can we do in order to improve economic opportunities for Bahamians. This government has had 2 years to make a difference for those persons who were negatively affected by Dorian. Their record has been abysmal.
Well, economic advancement for the West Grand Bahama and Bimini constituency, that's the focus of a Grand Bahama man looking to become the independent candidate from West Grand Bahama and Bimini. In this report, he's sharing his goals and he says he has the support that's needed to be elected to Parliament.
No matter the issue, the Quan Swain is there. When we had the issue of the power company, the Quan was there. The issue of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, the Quan was there.
DeQuan Swain is no stranger to politics as he ran in the last general election as an independent candidate for the West Grand Bahama and Bimini constituency. While he did not win the seat, he says he's been active in the community.
If you could be a fly on my wall and my inbox, in my phone and my WhatsApp, and you see the stories from people in West Grand Bahama, from people in Bimini, you understand what they're going through. No power, no water, no light, no jobs, trying to decide between feeding their family or if they're going to turn on the power.
Swain says it's his mission to rectify some of the issues in West Grand Bahama. Now, for those who may say he doesn't have the experience to represent the community, here's what he had to say to that.
Anybody could say anything, but it's about the actions and it's about the track record. My track record in Grand Bahama and in Bimini can speak for itself.
Now, the Grand Bahama native says he's disappointed to see some aspirant candidates campaigning in the community, as he says they have not supported West Grand Bahama and Bimini for years.
Where were these people? We were advocating for proper housing for people in West Grand Bahama and Bimini. Where was these individuals? So the true question is, why is there a sudden interest in Grand Bahama?
He's asking residents should not be distracted by what he calls political tactics.
We don't need to be distracted by those who stereotype us as the people who, oh, you go there, you have a grill and chill, you give them a piece of chicken, you give them a 2 for $5 drink, and you put $100 in a t-shirt, and they will vote for you. We don't need to fit that stereotype. Yes, it's fun and hype to hop on the bandwagon and enjoy the festivities, but we have to remember what is truly important. It doesn't make sense going out campaigning and partying all day and then you go home to no power, no light, don't know how you're going to afford your bills next week, deciding between paying your power bill or feeding your children.
And with a by-election looming, could voters soon see a change in the voting process? We put the question before Acting Parliamentary Commissioner Arthur Taylor, who says while the idea of voting electronically is not on the table, there will be some modernization in the system, specifically changes to the voter's card.
I like to use the term user-friendly, but I can't speak to that because it's an ongoing process now. I met some things going on when I came in February. They were well on the way to modernizing it to I think a credit card size card. And we will speak to that shortly.
The Acting Parliamentary Commissioner explains how the new card system should work.
With the new card, you'll go online to apply for your voter's card through the portal. Rather than just walking in here and saying you want to register, you put your documents online and we'll give you an appointment date to come in to do it. So it'll be just a flowing thing rather than the long lines, you see. And with the permanent register, it makes it easier for those persons. The only thing that will have to happen is persons who are presently registered will have to come in just to get their pictures taken again, and probably be some biometrics we're adding to it. Facial recognition, probably fingerprints, according to how they decided. And that's the only thing you'll have to do again.
All right, well, cool temperatures on this Wednesday as we inch closer towards the weekend. Hopefully these nice conditions are here to stay. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is in the Weather Center with a first look at weather. Greg?
Yeah, thanks, Italian. Welcome, everybody, for a quick check on conditions outside our studios and around the islands. Partly cloudy conditions right now, 78 degrees on the outside. Your winds out of the east-northeast, and they picked up in speed, 60 miles per hour. Your feels-like temperature is at 77. Radar and satellite composite showing that frontal boundary stationary across the southeast Bahamas. Showers and thunderstorms associated with that boundary will continue to affect that portion of the island chain. Some clouds still hanging around behind that front across the central Bahamas, leaving us with some cloudy conditions, but improving conditions across the northwest Bahamas. Eventually, some of this moisture will be moving back towards the north through the remainder of the week, so we could see some showers across the central and northwest Bahamas through that period. That's a quick check on conditions around the island. Stick with us, a look at the tropics, and your extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come on our news, a broad daylight shooting. This as gunmen opened fire outside a South New Providence restaurant today. Plus, hear how new technology can assist in the fight against breast cancer. And a big surprise for some young aspiring baseball players. This as a Bahamian baseball star pays them a visit when our news returns.
We're going where Columbus first landed, where snorkeling, diving, and fishing abound, to sparkling inland lakes and historical monuments bordered by miles of crystal clear water sandy beaches. Join me as we gallivant across native Guanahani. Starting October 23rd, the Our News team is reporting nightly at 7 and 7:30, bringing you the best in St. Salvadorian life. And be sure to follow our social media pages. You all ain't coming?
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
We're going where Columbus first landed, where snorkeling, diving, and fishing abound, to sparkling inland lakes and historical monuments bordered by miles of crystal clear water sandy beaches. Join me as we gallivant across native Guanahani. Starting October 23rd, the Our News team is reporting nightly at 7 and 7:30, bringing you the best in St. Salvadorian life. And be sure to follow our social media pages. You all ain't coming?
Don't spend hours.
A man has denied killing 4-year-old Kenton Seymour Jr. while trying to shoot someone else. Shanton Monroe, who is on remand, faces charges of murder, attempted murder, and possession of a firearm with intent to endanger life. Prosecutors allege that on July 26, 2022, Monroe was shooting at Deshano Joseph on Fleming Street. At the same time, Kenton Jr. was shot as his parents' car was caught in the crossfire. Monroe has denied Kenton's murder as well as the attempted murders of his parents, Kenton Seymour Sr., Norma Smith, and Joseph. He's set to appear before Justice Gilomena Archimedes on October 25th to receive a trial date. Gunmen opening fire outside a South New Providence restaurant today. Our News was first on the scene just after midday when a blue Nissan Note was riddled with bullets. Officers on the scene telling us no one was injured, but could not confirm if someone was inside the car during the shooting. In this footage captured by Our News production supervisor Taran Knowles, you can see the shattered windows of the compact car and spent shell casings littering on the ground. Onlookers told us off camera they were startled by the heavy gunfire. Our News team reached out to police for information but did not receive any up-to-air time. Police are investigating the country's latest murder after a man's bullet-riddled body was found inside an SUV on Malcolm Road. Officers went to the area around 2 a.m. to investigate reports of gunshots after being alerted by shot spotter technology. That's where they found the victim, who is believed to be in his 30s. Paramedics pronounced him dead at the scene. Now investigators are trying to figure out who killed him and why. Our News revisited the scene today, but family members declined to speak on camera. Now, anyone with information about the incident should call Crime Stoppers at telephone number 328-8477 or the Criminal Investigation Department at telephone number 502-9991. Daily advances continue to make our lives easier, but new technology also plays a pivotal role in saving lives. Lead family physician at Family Medicine Center Roxanne, Dr. Zena Friend, excited to announce their new 3D mammography machine is helping to diagnose cases of breast cancer even earlier while lowering the mortality rate. She says cases are on the rise locally and explains how the 3D machine outshines a 2D scan.
I know that we definitely have 300 to 500 cases of new diagnoses every year. And so that becomes a significant proportion of Bahamian women. And we, unfortunately, are also diagnosed a lot earlier than our US counterparts. We vary by about 10 years, okay? So our counterparts in the US may be diagnosed at 62 on average, but we are more like 52.
Dr. Fran adds that more young women are also being diagnosed, but emphasized that breast cancer is no longer a death sentence for patients. She shares the benefits of a 3D scan versus a 2D scan.
So younger patients have denser breast tissue, but we can see through that tissue better now with our 3D than we could have before with our 2D mammogram. So that's one of the ways. The second way is that we actually have more images per mammogram shot, so to speak. So if we are compressing the breast, on each breast, we probably do 2 compressions, but from that, we can get almost 600 images of a breast. So that allows us to really look and clip through the detail of the breast tissue to identify any smaller lumps, whereas before they may have been missed on standard 2D mammography.
When our news comes back from the break, young baseball players getting a special surprise over the weekend. This as a baseball star visit the Blue Hill Sporting Complex.
We update you about the men's national soccer team in Antigua, and Jonquil Jones plays to save her season tonight. Don't go anywhere, our sports is coming up next.
And cool temperatures and light rain on this Wednesday. Wondering what else we can expect? Well, Greg is back with more weather details when our news returns.
We're going where Columbus first landed, where snorkeling, diving, and fishing abound, to sparkling inland lakes and historical monuments bordered by miles of crystal clear water sandy beaches. Join me as we gallivant across native Guanahani. Starting October 23rd, the Our News team is reporting nightly at 7 and 7:30, bringing you the best in St. Salvadorian life. And be sure to follow our social media pages. You all ain't coming?
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers. Use SMS messaging instead. With Cable Bahamas Business Solutions SMS messaging, you can send personalized messages to hundreds or even thousands of recipients instantly. It's quick, effortless, and cost-effective. Plus, it ensures that your messages are delivered directly to your customers' cellular phones, guaranteeing higher engagement. Save time and boost your outreach with SMS bulk messaging. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions at 601-8911 in Nassau or 602-8811 in the Family Islands.
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
We're going where Columbus first landed, where snorkeling, diving, and fishing abound, to sparkling inland lakes and historical monuments bordered by miles of crystal clear water sandy beaches. Join me as we gallivant across native Guanahani. Starting October 23rd, the Our News team is reporting nightly at 7 and 7:30, bringing you the best in San Salvadorian life. And be sure to follow our social media pages. You all ain't coming?
Don't spend hours sending individual messages to your customers.
This is Our News. Welcome back. The Bahamas plays a big match in Antigua, and John Cole Jones gets ready for a pivotal Game 4. Here's Tej Adderley with a check on sports. Tej?
Thanks, Ataya. Good evening. I'm Tej Adderley here at the midpoint of the week with some sports. The Bahamas men's national soccer team took on Antigua and Barbuda last night in a rematch of Sunday's 4-1 loss. They came away with the tie. The Junkanoo boys played Antigua and Barbuda last night at the ABFA Technical Center in Pigot's, Antigua, coming away with a 2-2 tie. The Bahamas got on the board first thanks to a goal from Nathan Wells, but Antigua and Barbuda went up thanks to goals in the 54th and 59th minute. Nathum, with an M, Johnson, would tie the matchup with the goal of his own in the 82nd minute, and that would be the final score. Now, we would have liked for them to get the win, but with the tie, the Junkanoo boys have put their first points on the board in group play. We'll take it. Now to the hardwood. John Cole Jones put her team on her back to win Game 3 of the WNBA Finals on Sunday. Tonight, they can tie the series up. Jonquel Jones has put on a dominant performance in the first 3 games of the WNBA Finals, averaging 22 points and nearly 9 rebounds per game in the series. Her Liberty are going to need everything she can give tonight in Game 4 of their series against the Aces. The Aces are going tonight without star guard Chelsea Gray and post player Kia Stokes. The Aces will have plenty of firepower thanks to Kelsey Plum and Asia Wilson, but if the Liberty can pull this off, they'll go back to Las Vegas for a 5th and final game on Friday night. That'll do it for sports today. I'm Tej Adderley.
Still ahead on Our News tonight, players in the Jazz Chisholm Foundation Little League got a surprise this past weekend. We'll tell you all about it. And temperatures still cool in the capital as we're now in the middle of the work week. Greg is back in the Weather Center with your extended forecast right after this quick break. Stay with us.
Favorite Bahamian artist of all time. I'll give you some time to think with it.
The greatest Bahamian song was recorded by the beginning of the end, Funky Nassau.
We're in a day and age where things can be different and still be authentically Bahamian because it's the Bahamian people bringing it to you.
Junkin was like the heart and soul of the Bahamian culture.
Introducing the Focal Smart Pass app that helps you to fuel up faster. Here's how it works. Download the app on the App Store or get it on Google Play and create your profile with payment details. Visit your nearest Shell station, open the app, scan the pump's QR code, select your payment amount, and begin fueling. Say goodbye to cash and cards because the Focal Smart Pass offers secure and convenient payment options right at your fingertips. Download Focal Smart Pass now and fuel up faster today.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America.
First landed, where snorkeling, diving, and fishing abound, to sparkling inland lakes and historical monuments bordered by miles of crystal clear water sandy beaches. Join me as we gallivant across native Guanahani. Starting October 23rd, the Our News team is reporting nightly at 7 and 7:30, bringing you the best in San Salvadorian life. And be sure to follow our social media pages. You all ain't coming?
Embrace technology and the digital transformation for better business results. For small business owners, it's essential to understand how technology can affect operational efficiencies. Modern communication relies on technology, and your customer service depends on communication. With proper tools like our fixed and mobile services, we help you stay connected. For solutions that work, ask the experts. Call Cable Bahamas Business Solutions.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
We're going where Columbus first landed, where snorkeling, diving, and fishing abound, to sparkling inland lakes and historical monuments bordered by miles of crystal clear water sandy beaches. Join me as we gallivant across native Guanahani. Starting October 23rd, the Our News team is reporting nightly at 7 and 7:30, bringing you the best in St. Salvadorian life. And be sure to follow our social media pages. You all ain't coming?
More rain on this Wednesday, causing even cooler temperatures in the capital this evening. Greg is back in Weather Center with your extended forecast. Greg?
Yeah, thanks again, Natalia. Welcome back, everybody, for our final check on weather. We are still watching the tropics. This broad area of low pressure still trying to get its act together, still remaining a little more organized this evening, but we expect conditions to be gradually improving as the system continues to pull towards the west. Likely the system will become a named tropical system by tonight or early tomorrow morning. If it does, it will be named Tammy. Showers and thunderstorms will be spreading across the Leeward Islands by the end of the week as the system continues to track towards the west. We will watch this, but there's an upper level trough, that frontal boundary that moves through us. That's going to help direct the system out towards the northwest and then eventually towards the north and stay away from most of the island chain over the next several days. Closer to home, that frontal boundary still stationary across the southeast Bahamas. Showers and thunderstorms associated with that. Moisture with that boundary will eventually lift back towards the north, so we could see some isolated showers across the northwest and central Bahamas by the end of the week, and then we expect another front to get near by Saturday, so we're looking for some more cool weather for the early part of next week. Plan on doing any boating across the northwest Bahamas tonight through tomorrow. Small craft caution is in effect. Your winds will be northeasterly at 15 knots. They will be gusting high at times. Seas running 3 to 5 feet higher in gusts. High tide is at 11 p.m. tonight. Your low tide taking place at 5:04 in the morning. For the central and southeast Bahamas, easterly wind flow at 10 to 15 knots. Seas will be running 2 to 4 feet over open waters. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In the extended forecast, we will introduce some showers tomorrow and Friday ahead of that frontal boundary as some of that moisture with that frontal boundary to the south lifts back towards the north. But once that front goes through, we continue to see some very nice conditions. Sunny and pleasant. Temperatures will be in the low to mid 80s during the daytime, and those nighttime temperatures will be in the low 70s. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night, everybody.
Thanks, Greg. Well, players in the Jazz Chisholm Foundation Little League got a surprise this past weekend as league founder Jazz Chisholm paid them a visit during the games at the Blue Hills Sporting Complex on Saturday. The Marlins starting center fielder was flocked by the players as they wanted to take photos with Chisholm, who was in a walking boot on his right foot after having turf toe surgery on Tuesday.
I mean, I feel like I've seen a lot. The kids look like they're happy to be out here. They're ready to go play ball. They're enjoying it. And most of all, they're having fun. You know what I mean? They're just enjoying being outside.
And Chisholm says his goal is for the league here is to make it as big as it can, similar to leagues in the Dominican Republic.
My goal with this little league is to make it like we're basically Dominican Republic, like we're competing with the Dominican Republic, Venezuela, and those guys, you know what I mean? Because I feel like the talent here, we just have to give them the opportunity, and I feel like this is the opportunity they need.
All right, great news. And with that, we thank you for joining us for our news tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Natalia Hall. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a great evening.